Wow, I did not expect that. Tron ARES is a brand new film directed by Joachim Rønning, starring Jared Leto, Greta Lee, and Evan Peters. And you know, I actually have a little bit of history with this franchise. I love the original Tron, and when Tron Legacy came out, I got super hyped. I went like full fanboy mode. I bought the sweater with like the light up sweater. I got the light disc. Daft Punk is one of my favorite electronic artists of all time. They're one of my favorite artists in general of all time. So seeing that they were doing the score, it was just a really exciting time to be a fan of this franchise and seeing it get rebooted. Now, I will say that when you get that hyped up about a project, it is very hard for it to exceed your expectations or meet your expectations, and Tron Legacy actually didn't quite live up to mine. So when I saw that they were making a new one, I got really curious just to see what else they could do with the story. You know what I mean? Is it going to be Sam? Is it going to be something different? And then I saw this trailer. I saw Tron ARES and I saw Jared Leto, but I saw this very unique and kind of new direction for the franchise that just, it really got me hyped. I also saw that 9 Inch Nails was doing the score, and so it's just like, I don't know, my expectations slowly rose to a similar level that they were for Legacy, but this time, I just got out of this movie, I gotta say, those expectations were exceeded, man. This movie is freaking awesome. And so what is up, my friends? My name is Danny. Welcome back to Jones Vibes. That's what we're gonna be talking about today. I do want to preface off the top, this is a spoiler-free review, so don't worry about anything like that. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and without further ado, let's dive in. So, Tron ARES. The synopsis reads, mankind encounters AI beings for the first time when a highly sophisticated program, ARES, leaves the digital world for a dangerous mission in the real world. And going into this movie, I was actually a little bit worried because I just had this feeling that they were going to play it safe. And that's not something that specifically with this franchise I want to see. And even reading that synopsis, you have this program coming to the real world that just kind of feels safe, right? But what excited me the most watching this and now on the other side of it is just how complex the plot is. In a day and age where AI is a major topic of discussion that we're all constantly talking about, and things are kind of getting just like a little bit scary with it, I loved how they tackled that head on and they addressed that in a really unique way in this film, but it's also super compelling, it's action packed, and it's a lot of fun. And so it's not like they just chose that subject matter and they just got completely doom and gloom about it. But I will say what's different about Tron ARES is just the overall vibe. And I think that's the cool thing about this franchise now. You have the original Tron, then you have Tron Legacy that has this Daft Punk kind of bright blue vibe, and then Tron ARES is like this God of War, red, kind of dark, and a little bit more violent vibe. And after waiting for so long and thinking about all of the possibilities, the endless possibilities that this franchise has, it's just so nice to see a project deliver. The thing that I loved about this film, and I hope others love about this film, is that they did take all of those possibilities and they decided to get bold. They decided to make a stamp on this franchise and do something different. And I think 9 Inch Nails adds a lot to that because, again, you have Tron Legacy, you have this Daft Punk vibe, one of the most iconic scores of all time, you know what I mean? Like, I love that score, I listen to it all the time, but with this one, it had to be different. You couldn't just do the same score in the same style and really get away with it. They had to kind of turn the page and do something completely different, and they absolutely did. It is action-packed from the jump, and it moves at a different pace than the other films do. That's what I loved about it. There's so much action within this thing. You get the light rings, you get light cycle action. There are a couple sequences in this film that are undoubtedly, I guess one specifically, is undoubtedly the best light cycle sequence that we've ever gotten in this franchise. And that's freaking awesome, right? Like, it's so awesome that this exists. I don't want to discount the performances because, like, you have the action. This movie is visually stunning. Like, it is just breathtaking to look at, and it's immersive in a way that only this franchise really can be. Like, you feel like you're shot into the computer, or at least shot into this movie. Like, you're living and breathing with this thing. But you have that, and you have the score. I don't want that to take away from the performances, because the performances are actually really great. Guys, I know people might not want to hear this, but Jared Leto is a great actor. He really is, and I know you saw the trailer and you saw him with long hair and a beard, and you're like, oh man, I don't know about Jared Leto in this, but just think about his history. Think about what he's done. Think about Dallas Buyers Club. Think about, you know, the past, American Psycho, Fight Club, you know what I mean? Like, the guy has talent, and I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit apprehensive going into this thing, but he absolutely shows up in this film, and he kind of re-shows everybody everybody, like, hey guys, I am a pretty good actor and I know what I'm doing. I loved the character of ARES. I loved this kind of simplistic program that's finding their way into the real world and looking around and experiencing things for the first time and starting to question things. I really found that compelling. But you also have Greta Lee, who's kind of taken over at NCOM apparently, and they managed to catch you up to speed with her character. And there's some stuff with her and her sister's relationship that really resonated with me. Like, I guess, I don't know. I didn't expect to resonate on such a deep level with these characters, especially with freaking Jared Leto, you know what I mean? But this film also has a great antagonist, and whereas like Tron Legacy you have Clue, it's like this opposite kind of crappy CGI version of Jeff Bridges, somebody that you can't really latch onto, or at least I couldn't really latch onto. But in this film you have Evan Peters, and Evan Peters is a phenomenal actor, man. I love him. American Horror Story, you know, as shocking and disturbing as the Dahmer series was, it showcased just how amazing of an actor he is. And in this film, he does a really, really great job at bringing that energy to the big screen. And it also kind of paves its way forward to possibly more stories in the future. And I'd love to see him return. But he's kind of like the real world antagonist. And then you have the computer antagonist played by Jodie Turner-Smith. And she turns into this performance that is really, really like shocking and scary. And when it comes to her versus ARES, it's a really, really good time. It honestly reminded me of like Revenge of the Sith. The third act of this film was a lot of fun, and I was just so happy to see it all come together and not just fall on its face. That was my biggest fear watching this. I was like, man, I'm really enjoying this movie. Please don't just suck in the end or something like that. But it doesn't. It delivers on a really, really high level. It's funny because I'd never heard of this director, Joachim Rønning. I've never seen any of his other movies, but this feels like a movie that Kaczynski would be directing. You know, that's what it felt like. It felt like a massive blockbuster. I really hope people go see this thing in IMAX because the colors alone are so cool. The light cycle moments are so cool. But then bringing all of those vehicles and all of that tech outside of the program, outside of the computer and into the real world, and having this all existing in, I think it was, downtown Seattle. It feels big. It feels big in a way that like I haven't really seen since maybe Transformers or like Transformers 2, back when big blockbusters felt like big blockbusters. And there is something to be said about that because I feel like the first two movies are very much contained stories. I mean, Tron Legacy is just like all CGI. You do have some practicality, and some of the costume design was so much fun, but this movie is very practical. It's out in the real world for a lot of it, but then you also get to go into the grid, and you get to go back to all the things that you love about Tron Legacy. I will say there are also some amazing Easter eggs in this freaking movie. The trailers have already spoiled a lot of the stuff with maybe Kevin Flynn and all of that stuff, all the nods that you know from the past. I don't want to spoil much about where the movie goes and how that connects to the plot, but I will say, fans of the original Tron, I actually was sitting next to a guy who his favorite movie is Tron, the original Tron, and I actually didn't really talk to him afterwards, but I got the feeling like he enjoyed the heck out of it. He was laughing and having a great time. Honestly, the entire theater was laughing and having a great time. The dialogue was pretty funny at parts, but there were also some really emotional moments where the writing actually felt good. That's probably my one thing about the film, was there was a couple dialogue moments that felt a little bit clunky, but when you mixed in some of the stuff that actually felt earned and felt good, and then you have the action and you have the amazing score on top of everything, it all works. And man, I'm happy that this movie freaking exists. I can't believe that they actually made it right. Like, I can't believe that they delivered on this movie. I'm so excited about it, but I do have two more things I want to talk about. The first is plainly Nine Inch Nails. I think that music makes up 50% of the film, whether you're watching it in the theater or you're watching it at home. The score for me as a musician is really, really important, and I haven't heard a score this good potentially this year. I think the score for Sinners is right up there. These two are kind of rivaling each other, but my God, when it comes to living up to the legacy of Daft Punk and trying to go for it and trying to do something like that, it just, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. The first 20 minutes of this film, the score is going so hard. And if you're an electronic music fan, like if you're somebody that's gone to a rave or gone to like, you know, EDC or something like that, you are in for a freaking treat with this film because the sound design alone is perfect. It's spectacular when you're sitting in a movie theater, but dude, the composition, the songs that were written for this film, I didn't think that Nine Inch Nails ever had it in them. It's very dark. It's very freaking, I don't know, this is lame of me to say, but it's groovy, dude. It just makes you feel something, and that's what music is supposed to do. It is a freaking vibe. But the last thing I want to talk about is just a stylistic thing. I want to talk a little bit about the cinematography because it is a visual feast, man, and props to the filmmaker, props to the cinematographer. His name is Jeff Cronenweth, and I had never heard about this guy, but just the look and feel of this movie really establishes itself very early on, and it sticks with it. And I do want to talk about some of the stylistic choices with the camera work, like bringing Tron to the real world, and you have this inner city that you're driving light cycles through, but then showcasing that city to kind of be a grid in a similar way to maybe like Tron Legacy, that opening shot, using that and then working off of it and going through streets, having these light streams come through, and then even in the final act, you have like big, huge vehicles coming through the city, and you have these light streams, and you have freaking jets flying in the sky with these other Tron vehicles like going against them, and these light streams in the sky, and the way that the camera moves, it is brilliant. I mean, I don't know how other people are gonna feel about this film. Some people might end up ripping it to shreds. That's what film's all about. It's subjective. Everybody has their own opinion, but I absolutely loved Tron Ares. I could rave about it all freaking day. But I gotta give it my Jones Vibes star rating, and the only thing I'm gonna knock off is just for a little bit of, again, a little bit of clunky dialogue. So I'm giving this 4.5 out of 5 stars, and I have no doubt about that. But I'm very excited for you guys to check out Tron Ares. Please let me know your thoughts on it after you see it down in the comments. Also, are you gonna go see it? I would love to hear anything that you have to say down in the comments below. Your opinion is always welcome around here. Also, my friends, make sure that you subscribe. I have more movie reviews and reactions coming out here soon. But more than anything, and most of all, I hope that you're out there keeping up the good vibes. I will see you in the next video, all right? Peace!